I'm sitting here messing around with this camera. And I keep telling myself I'm not going to get a new phone this year. But me and my little 13 Pro Max is just not working. So either way, welcome back. My goal for today is to take you through the third day of ceremony without taking an hour, without taking 45. I want to keep this video under 30 minutes, but I know I'm an over explainer. So what I do, I'm a writer. I want to give you the details. I want to make sure that you get the whole picture. So either way, before I also get started, today is Friday the 13th, September the 13th, and it's my nephew's birthday. So shout out to you, Caleb. It has nothing to do with anything, but I just want to tell my nephew happy birthday. I'm gonna insert a picture of him in there. So if you know him and you see him and you watch this, make sure you tell him happy birthday. So let's get into it. I have my notes because that's the only way I can kind of keep everything focused. I talk all the time. It's not as much, so I definitely think this video is gonna be a lot shorter because of the night. Okay. Let's talk about real quick. I don't know what that was. Hold on. Well, what that sound was some batteries exploding, popping, and then I had battery acid all over the little light that I was using. So I had to throw that away. It is what it is. As they say, one monkey don't stop a show, but one monkey can start a change. But either way. So let me get on into this, y'all. So this is the vain part of recording. So the previous videos, if you haven't watched them, I would love if you went back. The first video just kind of talks about Rythmia and, much of the facility. The second video is talking about apologies. Have to do it. The second video is talking about the first night of ceremony, which is the introduction. That was very emotional. Going back to being a kid again. Daddy issues and issues with men. And night two kind of built on top of that. So the third video built on top of those things, like that basis, show me who I've become. And revealed more things, where I had to like throw up this masculine energy that was inside of me. And yeah. So this was when I had all the visions from throwing up. And it was a rough night. That was the night where I felt like a lot of things were uncovered and I learned about myself. So that day, I would say Wednesday morning, I don't know if I said this in my other video or not, but Wednesday morning, I went to breakfast and I was just so happy. I was ecstatic. Everything was great. Life was beautiful because it was the first time like to feel like that real unconditional love that people talk about. They talk about in the Bible. They talk about that unconditional love, that universal love. And I thought I knew it, but to feel it for sure, I was just beaming and people was like, oh my God, you look so happy. It might have seemed like a rough night because I was having so many visions and that's really scary, but it was beautiful. So I felt like, everything is wonderful. It's all up from here. Now, mind you, they do say, you can go like this, like that heartbeat. So you just don't know. But I was feeling great. It said the powers of the universe, knowing the good and bad. Some things just the way it is. So I'm going to take you through some notes that I had in my journal from classes that I had throughout the day before going into the third night of ceremony, which is the Divine Feminine night. And yeah, so some things I wrote was, I do not need outside validation. That has been something that I have struggled with for a long time. And I'll be honest, from my last video, this video, a lot of things that happened in my life that have brought up different things, different emotions, brought up different things that I have had buried super deep. So that outside validation, I'm not going to say it started at a particular age, particular situation, but I've had it for a very long time. So that's why I wrote, like, we really don't Our perception, our worth starts with us. So whatever you feel about you is going to vibrate out, right? The way I see and talk to myself, be more sweet with my words. I remember a friend telling me that about a year and a half ago, because everybody know I got a little spice sometimes. And it's not just the attitude that I have with other people. It is the way, my internal talk. If I'm very honest with you guys, I've not been loving to myself inside my head. So that's another one. Vibrate at a frequency that I want to live in. Those that are meant to be, they will, continue to vibrate with you. And those that don't, vibrate away. It's not a good or bad thing. Everybody changes, everybody elevates. So I will say, yeah. Yeah. Let me keep going. Once we learn to trust ourselves, we breathe naturally. I really enjoy the breathwork classes that they have there. Like I said, anything that came up during breathwork, I'm gonna have a separate video for like all my breathwork things and what breathwork is, how it can be helpful and beneficial, where you can find some. Like the people that do breathwork there who help with the program, have YouTube channels and stuff like that. So I'll go over that. And words I wrote down a lot: profound, natural, simple love. I want to say that was probably during Caesar Milan class. He's such a beautiful, amazing person. I love his energy. I love seeing him and the ceremony. He was just so kind, super, super kind. And so going into the ceremony, I was just like super, super excited, because I think I was super scared of the masculine light, because I know that I'm in my masculine a lot. Going into the feminine night, I want to be more feminine. I'm around a lot of masculine women, and not saying that they dress like men. It's just their energy of, the controlling type of energy, getting stuff done. And they'd have to be. But I am learning that I can be soft while also getting stuff done. I can still be in my feminine while taking care of stuff. And I know the masculine is to do and feminine is to feel. So I'm just trying to have a nice, healthy balance between the two. So, notes that I wrote before the ceremony when I was sitting in the Maloka. If I repeat myself, I apologize. But when you're in you get in, you have like your meeting with your friends, trying to see how everybody feel, find your mattress, your vibe. And then I remember sitting to this wonderful lady next to me. I try not to mention anybody's name because I don't want to tell anybody's business. So because I was telling her how I'll be watching JK Ultra videos, and she was saying that she was there when JK Ultra went, and I was like, this is crazy. Just the way things come back around, because I love JK Ultra videos. I was just watching her videos on the other place that she went to. So she's amazing. If you haven't watched any of her videos, really awesome. So I was sitting next to this beautiful lady, and we had a great talk before. I felt very good and grounded going into the ceremony. So feeling very grateful, ready for whatever it brings. I'm always like, be open. This is what I say on my notes. No matter if they're scary, be ready for it. We didn't pay all this money to fall back. Run to it, stand in it, look at the people and remember unconditional love, which is something I try to do now whenever I'm feeling out of sorts or people are irritating me or I drift into that victim mindset. I try to like place myself back to that second night to where I truly felt unconditional love and God literally having his love come through me. So yeah. All right. Divine Feminine, this is something that they said. Divine Feminine wants to be soft. Continue to love yourself. Being feminine is soft and receptive. Soft is strong. It is so easy to be hard. We know that it's so easy to put up these boundaries and things like that. So get away from that. Try to. Healed from a disease of shame, disease of judgment and jealousy were some big ones. I hadn't merged back with my soul at this point because I know I still had a lot of judgment and jealousy inside of me that had to be cleared out. The monkey mind gets in the way. Stay in the growth mind. Remember, while we're here, learn and express what I feel. I am still working on that today. I am still working on those type of things today. Matter of fact, this is the 13th week of the integration program after you leave. And it's so helpful. But just don't think that everything is going to be perfect once you leave. There's still work that needs to be done. This is a continued process. So, sunflower fields in my mind. This place is real, yet it's not. It's the grid of creation. We have the power to create the life that we dream. I have learned my lesson about speaking up. I have not enjoyed that about myself in the past. I don't want any more regrets about anything. Rambling is communicating. I'm trying not to do that though on here. Don't apologize for it. And come as a child, pure, open, and curious. So we're getting into the divine feminine night, right? So many of us ladies, like I said, the men on one side, the women on one side. So many of the ladies just super, we're ready. We want to be feminine. I was very positive, very excited, and I went to get the medicine. Don't like it, and I took it. Let me just tell you, out of all the nights, this was the hardest night for me. It was the worst night of all the nights, even going into Yahe, which is a very long night. The worst night, the worst night. The medicine came fast, and that is something that I struggle with, because for me, it affected me really, really fast, and that was starting to make me mad. And I know the 4 things, how does this make me feel? Do I feel this way in my everyday life? Show me who I've become. And when was the first time I felt like this? Not in that order, but I was angry. It immediately made me mad because like the room was quiet and I literally sat in a victim mindset for the entire night. I'm just like, the entire night I was in a victim mindset. I was angry and I was just listening and looking around, and I was on my mattress and I was on my stomach. I was literally on my stomach the entire night, and I felt horrific. And mostly because I was mad. I was like, the medicine's not affecting anybody else like this. Why is it affecting me like this? I just don't understand. Why does this have to do this to me? And I kept asking myself over and over and over, why does it affect me so much? Why is it bothering me so much? Because when you drink it, I swear it expands in your entire being, every cell. Even though it's my little cup here, though it's this little cup, you see how small it is, and it's usually filled to the brim. And yeah, it affected me a lot. And so I made up my mind. I was like, this is only 1 cup. That's all I'm taking. And I remember ayahuasca, like she said, well, if you're deciding that it's only going to be 1 cup, we're going to make you feel it. And you're going to feel it. And that indeed I did. And I remember getting these downloads saying, this is what you wanted. You said you wanted to be special. You said you wanted to know things. And this is it. You have the key. You are a key. And you're going to uncover that tonight and continue on. Excuse me, you guys. So I did. And if you remember in that Tuesday night, the masculine night, I loved everything. I loved everybody throwing up. I loved the crying. I loved the screaming or whatever. I loved the music. I loved the smoke. Everything was bliss. Imagine being in total bliss and then the complete opposite. That's how I felt on the divine feminine night. Everything irritated me. I didn't want no smoke. I told you it always makes me want to throw up. I didn't throw up at all that night. I didn't throw up at all. I didn't want to. Everything was in my head. I hated everything. I literally felt like something was prickling my skin, like it was prickling my soul, and it was horrible. There's a show on Apple called Invasion, and if you've seen the aliens, the way they kind of, like, I don't know, they kind of spiky and stuff, and with sound, they like get irritated. That was me. That's exactly how I felt. And I would look up and see women dancing and men dancing around like the middle of the altar, and I was just like, well, look at them, must be nice that they can get up and enjoy themselves, that they can have a beautiful experience. Baby, I was going through it. And when these feelings come up, it is very important. Why am I feeling this way? Where is this feeling coming from? Am I normally jealous of people that get to enjoy their life? Am I normally jealous of people that get to be soft, that get to be feminine, that get to have people in their life that allows them to be soft? And yeah, that was like, sorry, this is all like super unprofessional, whatever. I needed help going to the restroom. If you don't know, the night before was, I feel like, one of the best nights, and the last night too, because I asked for help. I allowed people to help me. On this night, I didn't ask for help at all. And the thing is, they're not going to help you unless you ask, unless you're like really going through it. But when I say I was flat on a mattress still the entire night, I was, except for when I needed to go to the bathroom. And then when I needed to go to the bathroom, I finally got up. And I was miserable. I was so miserable. And I was crying, I was crying, coming back. And I'm just like, why can't you just ask for help? Like, you're not bothering anybody. They have enough people. They helped you the night before. Why are you being so stubborn? I couldn't get out of it. The fear of everything was just weighing on me so heavily that it completely clouded me. It clouded my mind. I stayed in the fog. And the way our mind is programmed, it takes a lot to get out of that program, to reprogram yourself. If you ever read the Code to the Extraordinary Mind, he talks about upgrading our system. We always want to upgrade the technology around us and forget that technology is built based on like humans. And after hundreds and thousands of years, we're living the same way or trying to operate in the same kind of way versus upgrading ourselves. So that was the night that I wish, I honestly, I can't say that I regret it. I can't say that I wish I had changed it. I needed to see me in that state. I needed to see me acting the way that I act. And that's a growth. Everything is a growth lesson for us to become better. And that's why I say I'm very thankful that night, no matter how it went. When it was over, as soon as, like, I can't remember if I went up to the end of the night ceremony or not, but I was irritated. I didn't want to hear anything. I didn't want to be a part of anything. So as soon as I like dismissed us and everybody, if you want to stay, if you want to go, I zoomed out. I didn't want to talk to anybody, anything. It was horrible. So the next day, and I saw the lovely lady that I was sitting next to. She was like, how was your night? And I said, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And she was legit shocked. She was like, what? You look so peaceful. I said, I know. And that was a perspective thing as well, how we can look at people and they're really good at putting on a particular type of face. And everything could seem absolutely wonderful. And then they are going through a hell on the inside. Yeah, that was me. That was me. So I would say the next day, a couple notes that I wrote down that I want to talk about, so that way I don't talk about it in the next video. Asking, one of the questions they asked is how I've been judging my journey. I think most people expect that when you go to therapists, you go to psychiatrists, you go through all these healing retreats, you watch these videos, you read these books, that you're just supposed to change. I remember Reverend Michael Beckwith talking about, in one of his videos, answering a question for someone, talking about like a spiral. So it does come back around to a similar situation, but a lot of times we don't recognize the fact that we've expanded, and the way that we handle something, we're constantly growing and getting bigger and getting better. So we have to give ourselves grace. I don't give myself grace. How can we truly say that we give other people grace but we don't give it to ourselves? We might think it, or we telling people that we're giving them grace, but are we for real in our heart? It's not just about what you say, but it's where you vibrate, what you do. Your vibration is your frequency, which is another thing that Reverend Michael Beckwith says that I love. When we want to call things in, it's more than just saying. When you talk about manifesting, it is doing, and it is the frequency that you vibrate. You have to be there in order to call those things into you. So allow myself, like I said, I've been heavy in judgment. I can go up and down. But the thing is, if we stay up and we're up, you're still flatlining. If you stay down, you're still flatlining. So when something happens, it can take things out of whack, right? And so it is good to have the up and down, to have the experience, to know how to regulate your emotions a little bit better, to maneuver through it. So I knew by Thursday morning, I still have had several miracles. Things I didn't write down was when I thought about it, when the medicine started affecting me, and when I was talking to me, talking about you want to feel it, I started to feel the visions coming, and I was like, no, why? Now, before I went, I was all about visions, visions. And then I could tell when visions started to happen. And I was getting the visions. I was getting the downloads. I was getting, more about books, more about writing. And I know I have to get back into my writing bag, and reading out loud like I did on TikTok. There's a lot that I need to do, and I'm getting these messages to do it. I have the tools to do it, but it's a lot of the fear and the judging myself. Am I good enough? Do people even give a shit about what it is I have to say? I do get into the how many views, how many likes, and I used to think that because I looked a certain way that I didn't deserve to be famous. Like, look at my dark circles, my scars on my face, the not being small enough. I know that may not make sense, but a lot of times we tell ourselves these falsities, these stories, and a lot of times it goes back from when we were younger, whether you're a kid, a teenager. Certain situations will cause you to create these beliefs. And even though you're like, oh no, I healed from that, those beliefs are still deep in you. And that's what I love about retreats like this, ayahuasca, bringing up those things. People will say that's bad trips when it brings up your trauma. We've dug it down, we pushed it down so deep, buried it so deep that we're maneuvering through life, wondering why we act the way we do, wondering why we keep making the same decisions that are not helpful. Because we buried these beliefs of ourselves and what we're actually worth, what we feel we're actually worth. We don't know. But a few miracles: healing my family lineage, healing my body, discovering my real heart, uncovering my own spiritual gifts, and my body continues to be healed and clean. Different things that I do, like I did a water fast for 63 hours, just water. It was super hard, but that was showing me my discipline. That was showing me my ability to do things. It's all about your mind and your choice. I had to end it because I was at work and I was about to pass out. So that was that. How I say that I'm open, but not totally. I would say I want to express myself, but not totally. Still forgive myself for these things. I have this new heart, and my new heart doesn't deserve to be treated in such a poorly way that it had in the past. If I don't treat my heart at 100% love and capacity, getting that love from God through me, then I can't love other people properly. And I will let people in my life that will be totally okay with giving me crumbs and say I just should be thankful. It was so funny. You can't tell, but this little picture here is a picture of my daddy. It has a bonsai jewel tree in front of a tourmaline bonsai tree in front of it, but that's my daddy. And sorry. We're already gearing up 19 minutes. We're going to be close to 30. So another thing that I got, and I'm going to try to see, I'm going to find a picture of what they draw at Rythmia when they talk about us and when we have a fracture in that middle area. Oh, I forgot the diagram is called too. But I'm going to show you a picture. And in the middle, it creates like an unk. which I do have my Ankh tattoo here. Probably end up getting another one. But, you know, key of life is, you know, what they say. And learning how to protect my young self. Getting into the other thing of, there's a thing where you can, it's called unking, which masturbating and moving your energy through like the Ankh energy. So I can talk about that on a totally different video. But realize my power. Remember, I am able to receive love, and recite that into myself in a loving way. Like I said, this is a lot shorter video. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So a couple things before I leave, as I'm talking about writing, I have a wonderful friend who's been super helpful just listening to me. If you don't know, I was selling my book on my website. This is one of them. I'm trying to see if I've seen the other one here. There is one that I wrote a couple years ago called We. I renamed it A Mirror in the Soul Stack. So think of like a needle in the haystack and how hard that is to find, but it can be found. So A Mirror in the Soul Stack is talking about like the twin flame connection, not in a toxic way. So, but these two books is Chronicles of Sexual Love Languages, taking a love language and creating short stories. And then I have another one called Love a Girl. I'll show you these two because I did actually get them to where Amazon will print them on demand. You can kind of see the difference in this and these. So this is the one that Amazon looks like. I added me a couple little thickies on there. So these I am going to be selling on Etsy, I think, because I still have a few. There's really no different besides the cover. It's the same material, same stories, and this one is pretty much the same. The cover is the same. So Love a Girl's collection of poems based on my life. I did read some of my stuff on TikTok that I was mentioning before, so I will put a link to that if you're interested in listening to that. I haven't done anything in months, but I will get back to that. I will try my best to get back to posting. If you are here, truly, I can't say enough how thankful I am for the support, the people that have been supporting me for months, years actually, because I've been writing for years. These books I created last year and beyond. I'm going to be finishing rewriting A Mirror in the Soul Stack because I want to add even more to it. And I cannot wait to tell you guys about my final night of ceremony. Yeah, hey, and that, I ain't gonna get into it. That might be another long video. I'm gonna try to narrow it down. I just want to say thank you to the people that I've been talking to a lot, the people that listen to me, hear me out. My heart is so full of all the loves, all the different variations of it, and I'm thankful to feel it. It's a little scary sometimes when good feelings come along. We are more terrified of the good feelings than the bad ones because the bad stuff is what we're used to. But when you start feeling something that I would say tingles, vibrates through your body, it is like, I don't know exactly what this is and what I'm supposed to do with it. But let's just learn to just cherish it. Yeah. But that's it, y'all.